Hello and welcome. My name is Jessica with Skilled Womanhood, and today I'm going to show you how to sharpen a chainsaw and do some other basic maintenance to keep it in good running order. The first thing I like to do is I put it in a vise. So if you don't have a vise set up already, you will definitely want to get one. They're very handy in a workshop, and they're very handy with a chainsaw because you want to keep your hands free, and you'll understand what I mean when I show you how I do the sharpening. So I'm going to bring the head of the chainsaw as far into the vise as possible and tighten it up. And you do not want to tighten the chain in it. You only want to tighten the bar. This is called the bar. You're going to want to release the chain so it moves freely, like so. There will be two tools that you will be using. One is a round file that should be suited for your chainsaw. The other will be a flat file for the rakers. So this is for the teeth and this is for the rakers. So ideally it'd be nice if you had a clean chain. I don't know if you're dealing with a brand new chainsaw. If so, you don't have to worry about it, but you might want to clean your chain. Some people do it with a toothbrush and gas, and you can just run that toothbrush with gas here. Another person I heard, and they're quite the chainsaw expert, master, they have been a big tree arborist for years, they clean theirs in water and lye. So they let it sit in like an old coffee can overnight in a mixture of lye, and it cleans it up immaculately. I have yet to try it, but I will try it the next time around. I do make soap, but I'm not partial to working with lye, so I try to avoid it as much as possible. But anyway, so I'm going to show you just my positioning. So I'm right-handed, so this is the more comfortable side because you're going to be sharpening two sets of teeth on the chain, one on the right side, one on the left side. So I like to drape my arm over the head. I'm going to grab the end of the file with my left hand and have my right hand on the pushing side. And you'll see my movement is I push, lift, and back. Push, lift, and back. Push, lift, back. Files, as far as my understanding is, you just want to be pushing them. The other thing I like to do is not touch the chain so much, so when I'm sharpening the tooth, I like to pull back to get to the next one and sharpen as well. I will give you an up close to show you exactly what it looks like and what I'm looking for, my objective, but I just want to show you my position right now. So I'm moving all the way through every single tooth, and the way you know that you get to the end of the tooth is that you're going to mark it with a crayon or a Sharpie or chalk or some mean so you don't go over and waste time. You don't go over another tooth and another tooth that you've already gotten. Okay? So that's the first step there. So we're going to do that also on the other side. So I will take out the chainsaw, I will turn it around, and then I will drape my right arm over and I will do the same thing but on the opposite side. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a mark where I'm starting. Okay. This is the tooth. See, these are all teeth right here. In between the teeth you have what are called rakers. You will be sharpening the teeth, but the rakers, if they are too high, they exceed the height of the tooth, your sharpened tooth will be completely useless. So I have a gauge, and I'll show you how I use that, but the only thing with the rakers is that periodically you're going to need to shave them down. It's not about sharpening them, it's merely getting them out of the way. Depending on the depth of your raker, that will really affect how you cut. You don't want them to be too deep for what we're doing as homeowners and do-it-yourself folk. But you just want to make sure that raker's out of the way. So we'll begin. You want to have your file at the proper angle, entering next to the tooth. And if you can see this, and I hope you can, on each tooth there is a line that shows the angle in which that should be the angle of the tooth. It also represents how far you can use your chain until it's useless and out of service. So you're going to want to be mindful of where that line is and not exceed it, because that means the chain is done. But you have quite a bit of tooth there, so just keep a track of where that line is for both the angle and for how long you can use the chain. So I am pulling with this hand, I'm pushing with this hand at the proper angle, and I'm trying to sharpen that tooth to a really sharp point. Then I pull, just as I've shown you. And I'm going to walk all the way around until I reach that yellow crayon mark again. If you haven't sharpened it in a while, you might need to really work on it for a while to get it sharp enough. Some I can tell look great. I'm just going to move past those. You don't want to waste much more time because we have to get to actually working with the wood. Okay, so we've reached the full circumference of the chain. Now I'm going to show you how to assess the raker. So again, the raker is in between. We're going to place that raker and make sure we're going to place the gauge right this opening. You're going to have the raker set right inside there. Okay. Then you get your flat file. This one I can tell it's already the proper angle, but you would run it over and knock that down. Okay. And it's really helpful to eyeball. You can get down and eyeball what's going on. If I get way down to this level of the chain, I can see that I've already done this, so every single one of these rakers is lower than the teeth. So that's very, very important. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around in the vise, and I'm going to sharpen the other side. Here I am. I'm going to drape my arm over the right side. I'm going to get my crayon. I'm going to mark my first tooth. Okay, so I grab the tip with my left hand here, and I'm going to push and pull back when I'm done. So the goal to have in having a sharp chain is you want it to run through the wood smoothly, and you're going to be able to see very large wood chips coming out of the back of the saw. You don't want to have sawdust because that's indicating that it is not biting into the wood properly because it is too dull. Okay, here we are. I'm going to check the raker. So this is where I'm going to get down. And I'm going to eyeball. This one looks a little high, but we can check with the gauge. It looks fine. A little tip when you are doing the chain is to tighten it up with your scruncher. I did mention this is a scruncher, right? A wrench and a screw. Slot head screw. Okay, scrunch. So there's a little spot down here that this is going to adjust here, so you can tighten it up. Tighten it up so that this is very tight and it's not going to move around a lot while you're sharpening. But you want to make sure that you loosen it up when you go to actually saw, because that would be a problem. If it's not going to be rotating around the bar, you're going to have a problem. As far as the tension on the chain, this is looking good to me. When I pull it, there's some movement. I feel like it moves nicely. I'm seeing that the teeth, they still stay within that groove. Can you see that? This is important. Okay, I think that looks pretty good to me. Kind of can pop back. If you do need to tighten it, again, you're going to tighten it down here. You might need to loosen the bar nut and pull the bar out. I do recommend pulling the bar out and lifting it up. and then tightening it when it's in this up position. So that's all that I have for the basic chain sharpening. When I was with the logger, we were out sitting out in the woods. She just put her leg over like this, sitting in the dirt, and she just did the same thing with her file. Just walked it through all the way. I've also seen people crouch down on their knees. You might prefer that so you don't get dirty and you're kind of pinching it. I think I preferred this way if I had to out in the field. Okay. So depending on your chainsaw, you're going to have some reservoirs. This reservoir is for the fuel. Now I'm not going to say gas, though that's what people usually say, because you're going to be wanting to use a special small engine 2-cycle mixture. So I don't really know what's the best. I hear some, they have all kinds of fancy stuff that they use. It might be way better than this, but I'm just a homemaker, homesteader, and this is all I'm going to use. Some use like gnarly, I don't even know what it's called, like Yamaha racing oil and stuff like that that you can hardly get. So anyway, this is a 2-cycle engine oil, and you mix this with gasoline that you get at the gas station. Okay. When I first got my chainsaw, I bought these. I prefer this because it pours so much easier than the gas can in which I've mixed. So I have a special gas can where I've mixed both this with the gas, and I've marked it so you don't put that in your car or anything. That's only for small engines. But this pours easier. So what I've done since I've gone through this, now I have a funnel. I pour the mixture that I've created into this, and then I pour it in here. But what I would do, I'm going to turn it on its side. I'm going to open these. I'm going to check the reservoir. Let's see. Oh, I actually could use a little bit more. So let's do that. Don't wear anything that you don't want to get gas smell on, because just when you work with gas, it just gets all over the place. That looks great. There's plenty of bar oil. So I'm feeling good about this. We've got a sharpened chain. We got a good tension. I've got it fueled up. I've cleaned out the air filter. The air filter was on the top here. Let me just show you really quick. This is my air filter. Just take it out like so. Okay. It looks dirty, but it's not. It's kind of gotten a little bit of a dust look on it, but it's clean. So you can take a little brush and brush that off. Put it on. And so now we are ready to get rolling on actually running this machine. So I'm going to show you how to start it and run it safely. And I had a cool opportunity to learn from a professional arborist a safe way to run them for us women so you can feel comfortable doing this. So I hope that helps, and let's get on to the next step. Thanks.